certainly all the racers thought it was a lot of fun. And it was proper racing, which is what I'd hoped for. I spent loads and loads of time on my time trial bike with my pointy hat, just racing flat out, and there were hundreds and hundreds of miles of pan flat tailwind, flying along sections, which were loads of fun. I think a couple of the coolest things are the great big. Had a great big banner with a big picture of James and the Gurkha Rifles logos, or the Gurkhas and the Rifles logos, and that's. I think it's kind of a last minute idea that got stuck on the back of the RV in Oceanside, and it looked brilliant, and it sort of set us apart from all the other teams, and the baton as well. So we had every time the RV went past, you get this massive banner. And then also every time we switched over riders, you're transferring the baton. And it just meant that even when, our dinner was on the floor, or our legs hurt, or it's the middle of the night and we weren't really interested in riding anymore, or, we'd made a navigational error, or, any kind of inevitable mistake, it still felt like an important, worthwhile, right thing to be doing. It was cool. There were tough bits coming. Most challenging bits, I don't know really. I mean, the 6-hour night shifts did drag a bit. You often got to 4 hours and had enough, and it meant you still had to get back on the bike 2 or 3 times. And of course, you were aware that your buddy didn't want to get back on the bike either, so you didn't want to put more work on them. You wanted to take work off them, in fact. Some of the night shifts dragged a bit, but then the late night shift finishes with dawn and sun up, normally somewhere really, really pretty. None of it was horrible.
Was there discussion between you and Louisa on maybe who will take a little longer than the 20 or 30 minute shift, or any strategizing between you for landscapes or what's coming up?
No, not. I mean, as the race went on, and we realised we were going quickly, and we thought we were, in contention to win. On some stages, I would spend more time on the bike on big climbs, but Louisa was astonishingly strong. We had pretty much every team we spoke to came up and said, "Who's the girl in your team?" Because she's super fast. So it was great to have her as the other side of my pairing, just because when you're not on shift, you're still absolutely flying along. We worked really well together, I thought.
I guess finally, would you do it again?
No. It was lots more fun than I thought it was going to be. It was all good fun, particularly just being amongst the team. And there were some great people on this crew, and it's just good to be around them and on the team. I did it for a very specific, special reason, and I think for that it was just perfect. But I wouldn't do it again. No, I'm very glad to have done it and done it the way we did it. But no, not again.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Cheers.
Well, here we are, end of RAAM 2011. It's all over. Can't believe it. What an amazing 10 days, and the last 6 months built up as well. What can I say? It's been tough. It's been emotional. It's been very difficult at times. Deep lows at night time when you're out on the road on your own. That you just think of James and it just gets you going again. And my wonderful team buddy as well, Martin, who helped me through, and it just worked really well. What were you looking at? The crew have been absolutely phenomenal. Couldn't have done it without them. Every single person has been absolutely brilliant. All pulled together. Through the hard times. Yeah, there've been some tough times and tricky moments and things, but everyone's just kept focus on the end goal, which is obviously to get across America safely. And we did it within 36 minutes of the record for a mixed team, and so we just couldn't ask for any more than that, other than beating the filthy Germans, of course. But anyway, that's another story. But it's been absolutely phenomenal, more than I ever expected. I think really, I think James would be extremely proud. And we've done him proud. And I think he'd be quite blown away with what his family's achieved this week, and the money we've raised for charity as well. So yeah, I'm one very happy little sister.
What? How much money was raised approximately?
I think we're on now 70. Gosh, we must be pushing 80. I think. Yeah, I think we're sort of between 75 and 80,000. I haven't looked at the website for a while, and we're waiting for the money to come in from the fundraising night. But I think it's pushing 80 grand. So again, absolutely blown away. Didn't think we'd get beyond sort of 20 or 30 grand. So can't really ask for more. And again, there are 3 charities that James supported. So it's it's the least we can do in his memory.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And just another question, Louisa. I noticed on your bicycle you did have a picture of your brother. How did that motivate you when you're sitting there alone in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. I put that photo one back in after a difficult training ride back in February, March time. I just thought it would be a little motivational thing, have little chats to him when I'm cycling along. And yeah, it does help. Of course, it helps. You're down your aero bars the whole time, looking down at your handlebars, and he's just grinning back at you. And it's just a constant reminder, not that we need it, of why we're doing it. And it's just nice to have him there, really, have him there with me, cycling along.
Okay.
So yeah, that's good.
Well, the RAM 2011 is over. It's now the 26th of June, and a bunch of us are heading off tomorrow, and we've come to the conclusion of this last few months through Skypes and chats and everyone all over the world coming together in Oceanside, and I really can't believe it's over so quickly. We're all tired. Everybody's got a look that shows their fatigue. I have to say that it was kind of nice to say that the racers actually looked better than the crew, which I kind of thought meant that we probably did a fairly good job to keep the riders looking good, and we took up all the other slack for them so they could just focus on riding. I also think as a kind of new to the family and meeting everyone for the first time, that given James and as the week went by, I realized there was 2 sides of the family here, and I think it was an important moment as well for the family through the RAM to come together again and to be together and share in this event. So I was I guess aware of that as the week unfolded, and I saw as we came through the challenges and all kinds of things that went on, and we all, I think it was a very good opportunity for the family to get together again and share in this thing that was very important to race for James and so on, and every time the RV went by I often saw the picture on the back, and I saw the riders looking up, and I was wondering if that was in their minds, that this is the reason we're here. And so I'd say, yeah, it was a very good experience for me, and I was glad to be asked to be part of it, and I hope I think it was, I really enjoyed watching the riders at nighttime. We were on the night shift, and so I was always seeing the pedals and the reflectors going and spinning along, and I wanted to keep people, motivated and focused on just riding, and it was a real pleasure for me to see. And that now, much like yourself, Tom, is like I'm a little envious. I kind of got this little bug now that maybe.
So has it inspired you?
I'll do a RAM.
Will we be seeing you next year,
Yeah.
Andy, on RAM?
I don't know about next year, but maybe next year. But I'd like to do it. I think it'd be good. I think a 4-man team composition is probably the best category to be in.
Be honest, are you just waiting so that you can be eligible for the over 50 category?
No, that's a few years away. That's too. I don't know if I want to do the over 50, but yeah, if I have the time, for sure, I like to do it. And I realize that the bikes I do have are not sufficient now that I looked at these bikes, so I have to get maybe some new equipment and stuff. So,
Yep.
But it'd be nice to do next year. But
And you mentioned you like myself, you'd never met anyone before you arrived here. So were you slightly nervous about that? Being stuck in an RV with a bunch of strangers.
no, actually, on the Skypes and stuff, being the only non-Brit on the team, the jokes going by, the dry sarcasm, the British humor that was going on through the chats, I thought this was going to be very fun event, because there's going to be a lot of like taking the piss and that kind of humor going on, and I thought it'd be very, very enjoyable, to be. I think it would be a whole different experience if it was all Canadians. So it was very I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
And just finally, any sort of final message you'd like to give to the family?
Well, I guess I would say I hope people, I guess, don't go back to their lives completely and not see each other as much, and that this event brings people closer together, and they keep the connections going after this event, and I'm hoping this film as well, once it's put all together and people can get copies and look back at it, that it's a constant reminder that what's important in life.
Well, here we are the day after finishing Ram in just over 6 days. Absolutely awesome achievement. We set out as our original mission to do sub 7 days, and we've shattered that. We really have. We got close to beating 6 days, which has been amazing. Sadly, we didn't win our category. We were picked to the post by the Germans. We had a very close race on the last day, but that was never the aim as far as I was concerned. For me, it was just taking part, commemorating Josh's life as part of the Bowman rights set up as was, and sort of taking part in what is an epic endurance event across the states. We've seen, I think it's 10 different states. We've seen all parts of the country: West Coast, East Coast, the Rockies, the Appalachians, the Midwest, the Great Plains. It's been a real eye opener. Never has there been a bit of dull scenery. We've captured a lot of it on film and with digital cameras, so it's something to keep for the future. But it's been an awesome experience. The support crew were awesome throughout, from Barbara doing some splendid cooking, through to the guys doing the support vehicles, putting us on the road, picking us up after a hard shift early morning, and just generally the whole thing's come together really, really well. It's been really, really entertaining. Sadly, it's gone all too quickly. And next thing we've got to fly back to the UK, back to the mundane of real work. But I've really had a really good time. I'm glad I volunteered to take part in the team. And who knows, I might be back again to do Ram sometime in the future.
Okay, so we made it ahead of time, which is fantastic. Overall, I think it was, it's actually kind of what I expected. It was incredibly hard work, but like everything that's hard, it's also rewarding. The thing I was most surprised at, particularly because I came in at the 23rd hour as a replacement for Ollie, is just how well everyone gelled together. Basically you've got 13 people including riders. Yeah. And that's a lot of people to be living in close proximity with one another. A lot of people not knowing each other, not meeting people beforehand. And I think we worked really well. And I thought it was a great crew, great team. And I think truly inspiring what the family's done in memory of Josh. And from what I've heard, he sounds like a great guy. I kind of wish I'd met him. And my heart and condolences go out to the family. And in particular, I think Louisa deserves a special mention, because for someone who obviously is a female, but also more importantly only started cycling in January, I think she was absolutely fantastic, and she held her own. And we were getting comments all along the way about what are you feeding that girl and things like that. So overall, I was very impressed with her. But I thought the cyclists and the team, and overall, were just outstanding. And I definitely want to do this next year. So they've inspired me.
As a crew or a racer?
As a racer, I think crew is much harder. I think obviously you have to train, but once you've done the training, it's just a case of doing one job, and that's cycling.
Right.
Whereas crew is logistically is a nightmare, and it's much more stressful. And it reminds me a bit of when you like a play or something, where you see from the audience, you look at the play and everything's going along, and it all looks like it's all going smoothly. But behind the scenes, everything's falling apart and everyone's running around. But the crew's done their job if it all looks like it's going smoothly on the front, and I think it did. So overall, very happy with it. One of the best experiences of my life.
Okay, so Ram 2011, Team Swift and Bold. We started on June the 18th from Oceanside, San Diego, around about 14:30 hours in the afternoon,
and we finished Minneapolis at on the